First check.
Got that green Daytona.
Baby. That green hit different. I don't know what it is about it, bro. But it's just something about the green and the yellow.
I love it. There's something about it that I just completely love. I love this watch. But anyways, we're back again here in the lab. I'm here with Keon this time.
It's your boy.
Welcome back. It's your boy. Welcome back. And I think this time we're going to go real quick over a little bit about the market because I get this question all the time. Constantly people are asking me, Eric, what's going on with the market? How's the market? It's like I can't walk 20 feet even in this building without other dealers asking me, how's the market? And I guess I would say that for right now, it's safe to say that at the current moment, the market is pretty stable. I mean, I can't sit there and talk about what's going to happen in the future because, you know, there come everybody in, oh, wait till you another 6 months when we're deep into it. This hasn't even started yet. Okay, fine. You know, we're going to have to take that day by day because we can't
Predict the future.
Yeah, can't predict the future. But what I would say is it's been a pretty strong 10 weeks, I think.
Yeah, maybe about 10 to 12 weeks, honestly. The things have settled out. Things do look good, very appealing. We are seeing a lot more activity. Thank God the phone's ringing. Thank God we're still doing our thing. I definitely do encourage people to, if you have some pieces that you've been eyeing for the past couple months, maybe years, some girl pieces, you know, you're thinking about jumping into the game, definitely right now may be a good time to start firing them rockets, man.
You know, when a lot of people sit there and say, well, you know, right now is not a good time to buy, or they'll say, you know, some people will criticize that comment, and and it's totally acceptable. I think that if you're at home saving your lunch money to buy your first big piece or something of that nature, then maybe now's not the time period in general due to the certain economic climate, we'll say. But for the guys that can afford it and can buy these watches without it affecting them, whichever way the market goes, I would say that right now is a good time to buy because the prices have been stable. You know, even something like this Daytona green dial right here, where at some point they even got to $150,000. I wasn't able to sell one that high, but they almost got right there, especially right before the releases where they thought, oh my God, it's going to be discontinued.
Everyone was super hyped behind, oh, the discontinued watches are going to boom to the roof. What do you think about that?
Things got extremely hot in the market, and when the watches got to that high, I mean, it really at that price, it's kind of like a little bit too strong for this piece. But now you can pick one up in the 80s, and you know it's a big difference. I mean, granted, it's still a lot over retail, but if you wanted to buy one, you can get one right now at a decent price compared to other moments. So another thing I would say is lately I feel a lot of trends in watches that are selling in a lower price bracket. I would say anything $80,000 to $90,000 and less is selling a lot more constantly. I think the bigger, heavier pieces are a bit more held off. It's crazy though. It's crazy because while some of the bigger, heavier pieces are kind of sitting right now, the really, really big pieces, for example, like that Tiffany Dow Nautilus, I'm getting a lot of phone calls for it, and people want to buy. I mean, yes, they have a ceiling of what they want to pay. So as you know, because we've been trying to negotiate some of these deals, they have a ceiling of what they want to pay. But there are people right now ready to pay millions of dollars for one of these Tiffany's, and that kind of starts giving you an indicator of where we at right now at the market. I mean, things did definitely cool down, but there is some action, and I would say that at least for now, prices are stable.
I can agree with that, absolutely. Like I said, prices have stabilized. He touched on it a bit. We have been dibbling and dabbling with the 36s, the 38s, the 39s, trying to really just
31s,
yeah, really just those people out there who've been eager to get in, and they felt as if the market was too high and too strong. Right now, man, it's those times are here, and definitely keep an eye out for the stories, the posts. Hit us on the phone. We're definitely willing to work with you, man.
Absolutely. I also feel that, for example, a watch like a stainless steel sub, non-ceramic. I feel like you can get those watches right now at a really good price. Where for a moment there, you know, they were almost in the teens, which was a little bit, you know, drastic. So if If you want to buy something, sell something as well, we're buying. Let us know. Hit us up on the line, whether it's DM or email or the store phone, whatever it is, or come by, drop by and say hi to us, Monday to Friday, 10 to 6. But the next thing I want to touch on is the last video that I did where I talked about the newest releases of AP. It was kind of a mixed emotions with some of the guys. Some people agree with me, which was the idea, that way I have an opinion, so other people are going to have an opinion too. But, I got a lot of people talking about, well, Eric, why are you so negative about these releases lately? It almost seems like you're bored or disgusted. It's like, it's not that. It's just, I'm a fan of the brand, and I want to see AP win. Okay?
AP gang.
AP gang. Gang. I mean, I love AP and what they do. And what happens is when you start seeing so many different variations, it's almost like I don't know. It's almost like they're just desperate for the crowd's attention. I have people that wrote me on the comments in the video. They say, well, then, since you know so much and stuff like that, then what would you have liked to have seen from AP? And the answer is nothing. I think they came out with a bunch of really nice releases with the 50th anniversary. They got these radiant dials that are on the Tourbillon Royal Oak. Amazing. You got the purple dial Royal Oak Turb. Amazing. They got so many nice pieces that are out that we can't even get anyways. I can get them, but we're talking about as a whole, as a collector, the regular guys, we can't even get them. So what's the point of continuously releasing these crazier pieces, which we can't even get anyways? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I just don't. I don't see it. I don't know. What do you think?
I'll talk to you about this pretty often, man. I don't understand the logic behind these big brands. They're obviously doing something right if we keep coming back, honestly, because we can't get enough of it. But if you have such a beautiful and appealing model and such a stunning watch, and the demand is ridiculously high, why do they make it so hard for people to obtain these products? I never understood that.
Well, I mean, AP is a brand that's not going to be some of the other brands. It's supposed to be hard to get. It's supposed to be a higher tier.
Bro, but it's impossible.
But that is the idea, okay? If not, it would just be, again, guys, no, not hating on Omega or anything, but if not, it would just be Omega that you could walk in and just buy one. That's what makes it different. That's what makes all these brands different. So that way it is that much harder. Now, I feel like they've gone a little bit too far with that and made it just almost impossible and harder and harder. Like the latest thing is that if you want to get, one of these 16202s, you have to write an inspirational letter to submit. Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. The sales rep is going to require an inspirational letter. I mean, it's like, listen, what if you are a major collector and you have all the background that includes, experience, long-term loyalty to the brand, unlimited funds, however you want to write everything in there, right? And what if you just don't even know how to write a letter? What if you're not that type of guy that can write an inspirational letter? I mean, are you kidding me? Like an inspirational letter? Like, might as well just invite them over to your parents' house for dinner while you're there, and have them come through for Thanksgiving with the sales rep. I mean, it just puts a little bit too much power to them, and it bothers me. And that part, I really don't care what they want to do with that. What I do care about is, what are they thinking when they re-release the rubber clad?
Yeah, the rubber clad. That was the big question mark on that one. I didn't understand that.
Well, that was the one that just kind of like, the one that just set me off. I was sitting there in my desk scrolling through Instagram, and I see somebody put it, and I said, enough with this. Like, I can't take it anymore. The blue one, okay, fine. The blue AP, and all these other pieces, okay. The music one, which, to my surprise, actually a lot of people had told me, which is why, hey, I don't know everything. I'm learning every day just like you guys, okay? I just happened to start a little bit earlier. They said that the music one is in collaboration with Mark Ronson or Robinson. I don't know, man. Right now I'm like drawing a blank, but okay, great. I wish I would have known that before. The crazy part is why wasn't that like shared more? Like, I went on the site and I was browsing through it real quick when I was going to talk about that watch. It's like that guy's face should have been on the top. His name should have been in the top. Like it should have been more on their more pushed that this artist is involved with the watch. Instead, it was kind of like, oh yeah, and by the way, this artist is involved. I don't know. I don't know what the meaning behind it is, and I think the rubber clad is trash in my opinion. I'd rather have the old one, but like if you're gonna buy a new one, I just think it's trash. I think at this point they should have just gone ceramic with all the black, and then it would have made sense. But you got to leave sometime iconic watches. You got to just retire them
alone.
and leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
And leave them alone. And Lord knows that we're all nervous thinking about what's gonna happen next year with the Submariner. Supposedly it's supposed to be another anniversary. I haven't fact checked none of this stuff, but if it is, just leave the watch alone. I mean, whoa. Unless we got a yellow gold with a green dial.
Yeah, yellow gold with a green would be crazy.
Yeah, that would hit. That would hit big time. That's something that we'll accept that. We'll take that one there. As long as they do something like that, which we can probably never get it at retail anyways, and it'll probably be an $80,000 Submariner.
Speaking of those mocks, the yellow gold green, that one was my favorite, and then you posted another one, a rose gold with a blue dial. Those two would be the most badass Rolexes that will come out.
The date 8 40 millimeter rose gold with a blue dial.
Yes.
Oh my God, that would be like perfection right there.
And
I'm surprised that they haven't milked that and just done it. I guess especially with a brand
free
like
inspo.
Yeah, no, it's just that it's a brand like Rolex that their main color is green. It's only fitting for them to do most of their important watches right now with the green. So it's green on everything. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So what? Also with the market, another thing that I saw today was, it's over here on my phone. I saw that Bloomberg Business came out with an article that says millennials and Generation Z are fueling a boom in the secondhand watch market. Yes, this is also after they've already written that there's been a decrease in the market, that the recession had taken his first victim, which was the Rolex Daytona. Now what they are saying is that the pre-owned luxury watch segment will surge by 75% by the end of this decade, accounting for nearly half of the overall market, with younger buyers fueling the trend, according to a report. Pretty much what they're saying is that by 2030, okay, the market will jump to 35 billion Swiss francs. It's a lot of numbers there, okay? And what they're saying is a lot of the younger consumers are picking up watches as forms of investment. And again, when I think of investment, I don't think that it's going to be like, when I think of investment in a watch, I don't think I'm going to buy a Daytona for $30,000 and I'm going to sell it for $60,000. I look at it as a way to park money, where you can buy a Daytona for $20,000, let's say, and you can always have $15,000 there for sure, long term. That's what the way that they're looking at it. At least that's the way I see it. I've always looked at it as a way to park money, almost like a monetary instrument, where there's not too many other things you can do that, where if you put money into a stock and you knew for sure, again, I don't do stocks enough, but he knows a lot more about this. But if you put money into a stock and you knew for sure you would have almost all your money there, it makes it feel a little bit safer. But unless I guess you go like the S&P 500, where over time it will rise, some of these other stocks is kind of like you're kind of gambling, right?
Gamble. Yeah.
You're kind of gambling.
Yep.
So that's what happens, and I can see how in the future, yes, the market will be different. It won't be like these last 2 years where everybody was treating Rolex watches and Patek like Bitcoin. But long term, I think people have realized that when you buy a watch, you get to use it. You get to have it for a little while, and when you need the money and you sell it,
it's there.
The money's there.
To touch on that, by the end of this decade, it would make sense because people my age, I'm 24, we do have goals and we have desires and we have these dreams to buy these heavy pieces or these pieces that are maybe entry level, but at the end of the day, 10 grand or 15 grand, that's a lot of money. By the time we get to the age and by the time we get to the point in our lives where we will be able to afford these things and be able to park our money into these investments, it'll be around that time where these people are predicting that the secondhand market should boom. It makes sense 1,000,000%, because right now, what 24-year-old do you know can pull $10,000 out of their pocket to buy a Submariner or 15 grand out of their pocket to buy a GMT? By the way, there is no other asset out here in this world that you can enjoy, wear, get compliments, start conversations, and really abuse and still have your money there. None at all. The second you drive off a lot, a car depreciates. So in other words, by the time I'm 35 or by the time I'm 36 or whatever the number is, people my age now will be ready to spend the money that they've always wanted to for the watches that they've always wanted.
And I'll be right there.
We both will.
The next thing I want to discuss is celebrity watch collections, because I think that this is something that has always fascinated me. And since it's kind of like when you're playing a sport, you're always going to like a certain player, right? A certain athlete. You look up to one, and there's a certain guy that you look up to or you inspire to be like. And I've always followed celebrity watch collections. As a matter of fact, I would say 6 years ago or something like that, I was one of the first ones to do. Maybe not so much criticize them so harshly, but kind of go over their collections on YouTube, because I found that very interesting. You know, these guys have serious collections because they're rich and famous.
Yep. Connections like crazy. They can get what they want, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's been a kind of a change in trend right now of what I feel is at least my favorite celebrity watch collector, or who I feel is kind of running the game. That's kind of what I think. I would say that for a long time there, I have preached and said that, you know who it is, who I thought was the best?
Kev. Mr. Hart, baby.
That was like a really important call, but we're going to just leave that there. So yes, I've always said for a long time that Kevin Hart, in my opinion, was probably in the last 5 years, one of the most aggressive and up-and-coming watch collectors. I mean, he just amassed so many heavy hitters in such a short period of time that it was like pretty drastically impressive.
Yeah, every week you'd see something new on Instagram, and he just has like a internet breaking watch on, a flying turb, concept, black ceramic. Even in commercials nowadays, you see him in every commercial. He has a badass piece on his wrist. Every single commercial.
The thing about that you just said there was, I noticed that every watch you said was AP. And that is one of the things that I'm realizing, was that when I've been following him for the past 5 to 6 years with his collection, I noticed that he had badass Pateks, badass Richard Milles, badass Rolexes, and APs. Those are what I consider the big four. Now, when I say big four, everybody goes, heads explodes right there, instantly. Eyes cross. People just completely spaz out because those are not the big four, or the big three, or the big whatever, because they consider, look, when I mean the big four, I mean the big popular four, the big hype four, the big most selling four. And that doesn't necessarily mean the most traditional and the best, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he always had these brands, and I felt that he was just killing it. But then all of a sudden,
he's kind of like concentrated only on AP.
He's only AP gang.
And honestly, I do feel like he may have a deal with them, because he's such a likable guy. He's such a well-marketed guy. He's a clean-cut dude. He can put on the fit up and down and throw on a watch, and bro, he'll inspire you to buy a watch that you never even looked at.
And he genuinely likes watches. I mean, that guy, guy loves watches to the core. But I'm wondering what's his deal with so many APs, because even a guy like LeBron James, his collection's trash. Actually, no. He does have really nice watches. It's just, I don't know, something about it just doesn't give me the same effect as some of these other celebrities when you see him with the watches. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't do it the same. For example, LeBron James has he has a deal with AP. I don't know if that expired or whatnot, but LeBron James does wear other watches. Mm-hmm. He wears Rolexes, Pateks.
We've seen him in the Tiffany 5711.
He wears all sorts of different pieces. But lately, Kevin Hart is just sporting the APs. So, which leads me to my next direction in this topic, is that I feel, at least for me, this is like saying who's your favorite player, like I said. I feel that right now, Kevin Hart has gone maybe into the number 2 or number 3 range for me. I haven't decided that yet, but I feel that for right now, the person that I think has come up from behind and has really killed it is Mark Wahlberg.
His collection is actually crazy.
I feel like Mark Wahlberg right now has completely dominated. And he's stayed with like what I consider like a purist collector. Some of the pure collectors, again, this doesn't include all the indie brands and all that, but some of the conservative pure collectors, they will stick only to Patek and Rolex. And I feel that is what Mark Wahlberg has. At one point, I thought that Kevin Hart had a better collection because he had more, a really more versatile with more different brands, which is also great. But lately, the watches that Mark Wahlberg has, I mean, he has in two of his Pateks, or even one, it's probably more than LeBron's whole collection.
I saw him recently. Wahlberg was wearing a Grandmaster Chime.
Yeah, he has a Sky Moon as well.
Yeah,
Sky Moon.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, a Sky Moon? Like, are you serious? Like, he is a legit collector that's legit gone. At first, he started branching out maybe 4 years ago and started getting a bit more watches. And I thought to myself, all right, maybe he's just kind of playing this game where he's kind of getting these pieces and getting kind of involved in the hobby. But right now, in 2022, I would probably go out and say that Mark Wahlberg has one of the hardest collections, and we're not even seeing all of it. He's got probably every single Rolex and every single Grail Patek. And if anybody else thinks that is wrong, or I'm wrong, I mean, please enlighten me. Just tell me who else has a better
no
collection.
No one out there is touching him, bro. Honestly, this guy. Yeah, Ronaldo has some crazy pieces.
No, Ronaldo's collection is trash.
His is absurd though. He has huge Jacob and Co's that he doesn't have no idea.
I'm a fan of Jacob and Co and what they do. I think they do amazing pieces.
I think they're too big, bro. They're beautiful and they are amazing to look at. You can't help but appreciate the artwork, but I think it's ridiculous on the wrist.
I understand that, but watches is also like art, and not everybody likes art that's beautiful, which is fine. That's why they make so many different things. You got to buy what you like. Yeah. If that's what makes him happy, I'm okay with that. But me over here, as a watch expert that's reacting, we'll call it like that. I would say that. I don't like his watches. I think they're trash.
Oh my God! Headlines. Watch Eric says he doesn't like Ronaldo's watches.
Once upon a time, I thought that, again, you go evolving in this stuff. Okay. Once upon a time, I thought Floyd Mayweather's collection was like pretty impressive. Because he had all these crazy pieces. Then you start kind of like getting deep. This was over 10 years ago. Then you start realizing that what he has is a bunch of junk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at this point now, he's already dumped a bunch of this junk on other people, and he's kind of refined his collection. Mm-hmm. But when you see this, it's like, for example, Sylvester Stallone. I don't think he has junk. He's got some pretty interesting pieces. I mean, yes, at one point, he went off the
deep end.
Yeah,
his RM is the ugliest RM.
But he went into the Panaristi lane and he got crazy with the Panerai stuff. And at the end of the day, his Richard Mille might be weird, but I mean, the guy has a Richard Mille made for him. So
that's a flex of just saying that.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, he has a Richard Mille made for him. I mean, Jesus. But I would say that you go changing on these guys, and they all have really nice collections, and everybody has one that they like more than others. And I kind of, like I said, it's almost like players. Guys love John Mayer's collection. Does John Mayer have crazy watches? He sure does. But I think that if you laid them all out, my style at least, I'm taking Mark Wahlberg's.
To touch on something right now, for the sneakerheads out there, Mark Wahlberg's watch collection and shoe collection might be the number one out there. This guy has his own PEs. His PE 4s go for right now, I think $35,000, bro. You can't get them anywhere.
When people complain about that watches cost too much money, or they're saying that that's ridiculous, I mean, there is still something that I will never get used to or understand, and it's the idea of a pair of shoes being $30,000. I'm sorry, can't do it, never will. I don't see it.
$30K is nothing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's nothing, but there are some shoes out there that cost buku bread, man.
I mean, I don't get it. It's just, I get it. It's at this point, a pair of $50,000, $30,000 shoes, you got to just look at it like art. You got to just put it on a stand with the glass thing, and it's just like a piece of art. I mean, that's the only thing I can think about it, because you got to have some serious money to put on a set of $30,000 shoes and just walk with them.
Bro, there was...
imagine stepping on gum.
There There was a thing that I saw on Instagram the other day as a pair of Freddy Kruegers. When I was younger, I saw Mark Wahlberg wear them a while ago. I think these shoes came out back in '04, I think. Nike only released, I believe it was 13 or 14 pairs of them. And bro, believe it or not, they're going for $75K.
Yeah, that's stupid. So anyways, Mark Wahlberg to me,
bro.
Mark Wahlberg to me right now has the best collection. Go ahead and share below who you think has the best collection. Maybe perhaps there's somebody that.
Wait. What about your boy Khaled? God did.
So you telling me God told you to buy this $3 million watch?
It's Calvin and Future, and it's $3 million.
Who told you to buy it?
God did.
Oh my God! I mean, yeah, I guess, but again, I feel that he's got watches. That's what I would say. He's got watches, but I don't think that his collection is as sophisticated, okay, or curated as Mark Wahlberg. That's what I would say. He's got some heavy pieces, man. There's no doubt about it. But again, Mark Wahlberg will whip out the Sky Moon, and that's it. It's done. Like, wrap it all up, put it back in the LV box, take it home. So that's it for today. Comment below if you think Mark Wahlberg has the best celebrity watch collection of them all. And also if there's anybody that perhaps I'm kind of missing. Oh, and don't forget to give me your thoughts on these new APs. I mean, I know I heard a lot of it last time, but maybe perhaps there's something different you want to say. And the market, let us know if you think it's also stable. If you like this video, like and share it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
We out, baby.